Hello, this is Lisa Huening of The Shifting Path. I would like to welcome you to What I Wish I Knew. In this audio series, I am talking to people who have been or are in a caregiving role for their family member. My guest is Nancy Stein. She will be sharing with us her experiences with caring for her father and the importance of having a trusted resource. And in addition, I'd like you to know that due to Nancy's own experience of being a family caregiver, she has since changed careers to start her own senior care service company in Florida. Nancy, welcome. Thank you so much for being here to share what you wish you knew.
Thank you.
Tell me about your experience.
I was a caregiver twice, and for a period of time that spanned over 10 years. My parents, they had really very different needs, but the one thing that they had in common was that they lived in California while I lived in Miami, and while I was working full-time, and, I had my own family. And while I had siblings, and yes, we all conferred with one another, I always felt like this huge responsibility on my shoulders. And for me, being a caregiver, it was an incredibly isolating experience and kind of like a really lonely journey. I felt very much alone. I felt like I spent all this time figuring out what it was I needed to do, and then I would get the help, and then I realized, in fact, that I wasn't really right. And I essentially just kept going from crises to crises. I guess hindsight's really wonderful, and now I know that just about everyone's going to be a caregiver to some point, to some degree, and no matter when it is, it's really never going to be easy. And I really wish I had known that this was the case, and I wish that I could have had someone to turn to for guidance. I mean, I guess it really sounds very simple, but it's really not. Having a trusted resource at that time would have made all the difference to me. And I guess it sounds really very simple, but it's not. And if it were a perfect world, that person might have been my father's doctor. And I wish she had told me that my father's behaviors were really a direct result of his dementia. Maybe I wouldn't have been as angry and as frustrated as much of the time, or that maybe his behaviors were because he was taking medications that didn't agree with him, or maybe I wouldn't have yelled at him for shuffling his feet and being lazy if I had known that was like a symptom of dementia. So had I realized all that and had a resource, I would have realized that this is just a rite of passage, and it's something that, you do, and you do the best that you can. And I think I would realize that I was not all alone, and I would have a good resource could have directed me to resources that were kind of nearby where he might have been more engaged socially, and that would have, afforded him really the best appropriate services rather than doing everything by trial and error. I must have gone through 4 different home health care agencies, and if I had just understood what it was that I had needed, could have probably done it right just the first time. And I think if I had had somebody helping me and hadn't tried to do it all alone, I would have been able to anticipate what was coming ahead and not feel like I was in the crisis mode. I mean, really, that, along with having my own family and working full-time, really, was just a plain old recipe for burnout. I guess that as I got a little bit more comfortable and I began to master the art of caregiving, if there is such a thing, I actually went and employed a geriatric care manager, which was like the smartest thing I could have done. And that person really helped me. She evaluated my father. She helped me create a strategy, and really got me very organized. And I felt that I suddenly had these eyes and these ears that could report to me, that could take him to key appointments, that I wasn't flying around the country just to take him to the doctor. She would then email me and what her observations were and what she thought I should be doing next. And that was really great because it allowed me to focus less on every single doctor's appointment and more on my relationship with him. And I realize that everybody needs a trusted resource, but for everyone it could be a different person. For some it could just be a clergy, or it could be a care manager, or an owner of a home health agency, or a licensed social worker. It doesn't really matter as long as it fits your needs, but it will make all the difference both emotionally and with other resources.
Nancy, you've given some very valuable information. You touched on, not having a resource that then contributes to caregiver burnout, also understanding your loved one's diagnosis and what the progression of their disease looks like, and number one, having a trusted resource, whoever or whatever that form that takes, someone that you can help and rely on in helping to alleviate caregiver burnout and to become organized. I really appreciate you talking with me today and sharing what you wish you knew. I think a lot of people will benefit from your knowledge. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're very welcome. Thank you.